fire fades, the smoke disappears, but something stays. There's a silence in the aftermath, where shadows stretch across the past. Every flame that once burned bright now just whispers in the night. I walk alone through what remains, through quiet loss and distant pain. In the stillness left behind, I hear something still alive. It don't burn and it don't break, it lingers in every step I take. When the echoes outlive the fire, when the flames no longer rise, there's a voice beneath the silence that refuses to die. Yeah, when the heat has turned to dust and the past is left behind, what remains ain't gone forever, it just lives in another time. Every road I walked before left a mark I can't ignore. Every word I never said still keeps ringing in my head. There's a story in the air, in every breath, in every stare. And though the moments come and gone, the echo carries on. You can't see it, but it's there, in every trace, in every layer. When the echoes outlive the fire, when the flames no longer rise, there's a voice beneath the silence that refuses to die. Yeah, when the heat is turned to dust and the past is left behind, what remains ain't gone forever, just lives in another time. Maybe we don't fade away, maybe we just change our shape, from the fire to the sound, from the lost into the found. Not in flesh, not in flame, but in something without a name, a quiet truth that won't expire, an echo after the fire, still there, still near, still known, still clear. Yeah, the echoes outlive the fire, even when the flames are gone. There's a truth that keeps on calling long after we move on. Yeah, it don't need light to shine, and it don't need form to stay. It's the part of us that lingers when everything fades away. So when the fire finally dies and there's nothing left inside, just listen in the quiet. You'll hear what never left. What never left. Time moves on, everything fades, but not everything disappears. There's a mark carved deep in stone, long before I stood alone. Every step I left behind still echoes through the sands of time. I've been lost, I've been erased, felt the world forget my name, but something stronger stayed alive. It refused to die. You can bury truth in dust, but it don't forget what was. I'm a name that time couldn't erase. Through every fall, through every break, every scar, every flame, only carved it deeper in place. Yeah, the years may come and go, but there's something they don't control. And no matter what they take, I'm a name time couldn't erase. I've been written off before, left behind and closed the door. Every voice that said I'd fade only built the path I made. There's a fire in what remains, something stronger than the pain. Not a moment, not a phase, but a name that stays. I don't run from what I've been, it's the reason I still stand. I'm a name that time couldn't erase. Through every fall, through every break, every scar, every flame, only carved it deeper in place. Yeah, the years may come and go, but there's something they don't control. And no matter what they take, I'm a name time couldn't erase. Time couldn't erase. Oh, maybe we don't live forever, but the truth we leave behind us, not in flesh, not in breath, but in echoes that never stop. Every step, every fight, every wrong, every right becomes something more than we were, something time can't blur. Still here, still known, still carved in stone. Yeah, I'm a name that time couldn't erase, and I don't fade without a trace. Every loss, every pain, only fed the fire I became. Yeah, I've lived what I can't replace, left a mark no time can chase. And no matter what it takes, I'm the name time couldn't erase. So when the years have come and gone, and the world keeps moving on, just remember, some things don't fade away. Some names are here to stay. 1,000 miles, and I never came back the same. Somewhere along the way, I left pieces of me behind. There's a road that cuts through memory, where I lost who I used to be. Every mile took something more, left it scattered on the floor. I kept moving, didn't look back, didn't notice what I lacked, till the silence started to show I wasn't whole anymore. Every step I took alone, I left a shadow I don't own. I left my ghost in every road, every place I used to go, every night, every fight still echoes in the cold. Yeah, I walked till I disappeared, through every doubt, through every fear. And now there's pieces of my soul in every road I used to know. There's a town that knows my name, but it don't feel the same. There's a bar where I once stood, where I lost more than I should. There's a bridge I almost burned, there's a lesson never learned, and every place I tried to leave still remembers me. You can run, but it won't fade. Every mark you ever made, I left my ghost in every road, every place I used to go, every night, every fight still echoes in the cold. Yeah, I walked till I disappeared, through every doubt, through every fear. And now there's pieces of my soul in every road I used to know. Maybe we don't leave it all, maybe we just split and fall into moments, into time, into places left behind. Every step becomes a trace, every memory leaves a place. Not alive, but not gone, just something that lingers on. Still there, still see, still lost between. Yeah, I left my ghost in every road, but I don't carry that load. Every loss, every scar made me who I am so far. Yeah, I walked through everything, felt the weight of what it brings, and now I know I'm never alone, 'cause I left my ghost in every road. So if you walk I stopped trying to explain. Stop trying to be heard. And that's when I realized silence says everything. There was a time I raised my voice, tried to make them feel my choice. Every word I tried to say just kept fading into gray. So I let the noise collapse, watched the truth slip through the cracks, and in the quiet left behind I found something more defined. No more shouting into space, no more trying to be replaced. Now the silence still speaks my truth, louder than I ever could. Every scar, every line tells a story I survived. Yeah, I don't need to prove a thing, don't need words for everything, 'cause even when there's nothing left to say, the silence still speaks my truth. There's a weight in letting go of the need to let them know. Every thought, every fight doesn't need to see the light. There's a power in the still, in the space where time stands still, and every moment left unspoken feels more real than what was broken. I stopped chasing every sound, and that's when I was found. Now the silence still speaks my truth, louder than I ever could. Every scar, every line tells a story I survived. Yeah, I don't need to prove a thing, don't need words for everything, 'cause even when there's nothing left to say, the silence still speaks my truth. Babe, the silence still speaks my truth. Maybe truth was never loud, never meant to draw a crowd. Maybe it was always there, in the stillness, in the air. Not in what we try to say, but in what we walk away, in the choices we don't defend, in the quiet at the end. No sound, no lie, no mask, just I. Yeah, the silence still speaks my truth, and I finally understood. Every step, every scar led me to just who I am. Yeah, I don't need to be defined by a voice or by a line, 'cause even when the world fades into gray, the silence still speaks my truth. So if you're lost inside the noise, trying hard to find your voice, just stop and listen. You might hear who you really are. saw it. No one knew what it took to build something real. I've been working in the shadows deep, where the silence never sleeps. Every brick I had to lay came from pieces thrown away. No spotlight, no applause, just scars I couldn't pause. And every night I stood alone, building something of my own. They never saw the weight I carried then, but they see it standing in the end. What I built in the dark still stands through the storm, through shattered plans. Every scar became the ground, every loss held it down. Yeah, they never knew my fight, never saw those endless nights, but now it's stronger than it ever was. What I built in the dark still stands. There were moments I almost broke, choking on the words unspoken. Every doubt I had to face left a mark I can't erase. But I kept laying stone on stone, even when I felt alone. And every time I thought I'd fall, I stood taller through it all. You can't fake what pain is made, you can't break what won't betray. What I built in the dark still stands through the storm, through shattered plans. Every scar became the ground, every loss held it down. Yeah, they never knew my fight, never saw those endless nights, but now it's stronger than it ever was. What I built in the dark still stands. Maybe it was meant that way. No easy road, no brighter day. Maybe all the unseen pain was the reason it remains. Not for glory, not for fame, not to carve a passing name, but to build something so real it don't break, it don't kneel. Still here, still strong, still built from wrong. Yeah, what I built in the dark still stands, and I wouldn't change those broken plans. Every fall became the rise, every truth cut through the lies. Yeah, I walked through fire and rain, turned every loss into gain, and now it's stronger than it ever was. What I built in the dark still stands. So if you're building in the night with no one there to see the fight, just remember what's built in the dark don't fall in the light. Don't fall in the light. Whoa. I thought it would fade like footprints in the sand, but some things don't disappear that easily. There's a trail I left behind, fading slowly out of time. Every step I didn't see still remembers parts of me. I walked roads I can't retrace, through every loss, through every place. And though I'm gone from where I've been, something still holds me in. I thought the wind would take it all, but even dust recalls the fall. Even the dust remembers my steps, every move, every breath, every shadow I became, still echoes in the same. Yeah, I thought I'd fade away, like a memory lost in gray. But no matter where I've lived, even the dust remembers my steps. There's a field I passed one night, underneath a broken light, where I stood and said goodbye to a version left to die. There's a silence in that space, still holding my trace. And though the moment came and went, it was never truly spent. You can leave but not erase what was written in that place. Even the dust remembers my steps, every move, every breath, every shadow I became, still echoes in the same. Yeah, I thought I'd fade away, like a memory lost in gray. But no matter where I've left, even the dust remembers my steps. Maybe nothing's ever gone, maybe it just carries on, in the air, in the ground, in the silence without sound. Not in words, not in sight, but in something just as right, a quiet trace we can't forget. A mark the world still hasn't left, still there, still known, still traced in stone. Yeah, even the dust remembers my steps, not as pain, not regret, but as proof that I was here through every doubt, through every fear. I don't need to stay the same to know I left more than a name. 'Cause no matter where I've left, even the dust remembers my steps. So if you walk where I once stood, in a place misunderstood, you might feel it in the air, something quiet, still there. Still there. They don't say my name out loud, not anymore. Now they whisper it. I used to walk just like the rest, another soul, another test. No one cared, no one knew what I was going through. I faced the dark, I faced the fall. I lost myself, I lost it all. And somewhere in that broken ground, something turned around. They tried to write me off as gone, but I kept moving on. Now I became the story they whisper about, a name in the dark they still talk about. Every scar, every flame turned into something they can't explain. Yeah, I was lost, I was down. Now I'm the voice without a sound, and every road I walked, without a doubt, I became the story they whisper about. There's a shadow in the night that still carries every fight. Every place I left behind still echoes in their mind. They don't know the truth I hold, only fragments, only told through broken words and distant views. A version they all choose. They don't see what it became, they just remember the name. Now I became the story they whisper about, a name in the dark they still talk about. Every scar, every flame turned into something they can't explain. I was lost, I was down. Now I'm the voice without a sound, and every road I walked, without a doubt, I became the story they whisper about. Maybe truth gets lost in time, turned to myth, turned around. Maybe every life we live becomes a story we don't give. Not who we were, but what remains. Not the face, but just the name. Something larger than it seems, something living in between. Still told, still heard, still there in words. Yeah, I became the story they whisper about, not the man they figured out. Every fall, every rise turned into something in their eyes. Yeah, I don't need to be around to hear the way it echoes loud. 'Cause every step I took, without a doubt, I became the story they whisper about. So if you hear it late at night, a voice that don't feel right, that ain't fear, that ain't doubt, that's just the story they still whisper about. They still whisper about. Tried to wear me down, but it never could. crashing in, tried to break the skin I'm in. Every second carved its mark, left its shadow in the dark. I felt the weight of every loss, every line I had to cross. But through it all I never changed, just became something untamed. You can watch the clock unwind, but it don't control this life. No time could take what I became. Through every scar, through every flame, every second tried to break only made me harder to erase. Yeah, the years can fade the face, but they can't rewrite this place. And no matter how they came, no time could take what I became. I've been tested, I've been warned, felt the pressure twist and foam. Every doubt they tried to place only strengthened what I face. There's a truth they can't undo, something deeper than what's new. Not a moment, not a phase, but the core of what remains. I don't run and I don't bend, I outlast, I transcend. No time could take what I became. Through every scar, through every flame, every second tried to break only made me harder to erase. Yeah, the years can fade the face, but they can't rewrite this place. And no matter how they came, no time could take what I became. Let it pass, let it fall, I've outlived it all. Every moment that tried to define was never truly mine. I'm not bound to what has been or the places I've walked in. I'm the fire that still remains beyond the reach of time and chains. Still here, still strong, still mine, still all. No time could take what I became, and I don't answer to the change. Every scar became my shield, every truth I never revealed. Yeah, I stand beyond the years, beyond the doubts, beyond the fears. And no matter what they claim, no time could take what I became. So let the years keep moving on, let them think that I'm gone. But what I am, what I became, lies beyond time's domain. Everything changes, everything fades, but not everything leaves. I've watched the seasons come and go, watch the rivers lose their flow. Every place I used to stand now feels like someone else's land. Faces fade into the past, moments never meant to last. And every road I used to to know ain't the same anymore. But through it all I stay the same, not untouched but still remain. The world moves on but I remain, through every loss, through every change. Every moment slips away, but I don't fade the same. Yeah, time keeps turning every page, washing out what we once made. But there's something that can't contain. The world moves on, but I remain. There's a silence in the shift, and everything the years have missed, every virgin left behind, still echoes in my mind. I don't chase what used to be, or what the world expects from me. I just stand where I became, unafraid of what has changed. I don't fight the passing days, I just outlast what fades away. The world moves on, but I remain, through every loss, through every change. Every moment slips away, but I don't fade the same. Yeah, time keeps turning every page, washing out what we once made. But there's something that can't contain. The world moves on, but I remain. But I remain. Whoa, maybe we're not meant to stay in the things that drift away. Maybe everything we lose shows us what we don't outgrow. Not the noise, not the race, not the need to leave a trace, just a quiet, steady flame that remains, still here, still calm, still whole, still strong. Yeah, the world moves on, but I remain, and I don't run from the change. Every loss, every phase led me to this place. Yeah, I don't need to stay the same to know I didn't fade away. 'Cause there's something they can't take. The world moves on, but I remain. So let it change, let it go. Let the world become what it knows. I'll be here, not the same, but still remain. I used to wonder if I'd fade away, like everything else. But I see it now. Walk through places left behind, through broken years and shifting time. Every step I couldn't trace, still left a mark I can't erase. I thought I'd disappear one day, just another name that fades. But something deeper held me still, something stronger than my will. You can lose what once was known, but not the truth you've always shown. I was never meant to be forgotten. Through every loss and every scar, every step I took in silence carried me this far. Yeah, I don't need to stay inside to know I'm written in the light. And no matter where I've gone, I was never meant to be forgotten. There's a trace in every place, a quiet echo I can't replace. Every road I walked alone still remembers what I've known. I don't chase what fades away or try to make the past stay. I just stand in what became something more than just a name. Not in memory, not in sound, but in something deeper found. I was never meant to be forgotten. Through every loss and every scar, every step I took in silence carried me this far. Yeah, I don't need to stay inside to know I'm written in the light. And no matter where I've gone, I was never meant to be forgotten. Maybe we don't last in form, maybe we outlive the storm. In every life we leave behind, there's a piece we intertwine. Not in flesh and not in name, but in something without a frame. A quiet truth that carries on long after we are gone. Still there, still known, still felt, still shown. Yeah, I was never meant to be forgotten. And I don't fade into the dark. Every scar became a signal, every step became a spark. Yeah, I don't need to hold the light to know I've changed the night. And no matter what goes wrong, I was never meant to be forgotten. So when the world keeps moving on and everything I knew is gone, just listen. In the silence, in the air, I'm still there. Out here, the wind don't carry stories, it carries names and the dust. It don't forget. I've been riding through a ghost of days, where every road just ends in haze. Boots still heavy with the past, like every step's tied to what didn't last. There's a silence in the canyon walls, but I still hear those distant calls, like whispers carved in desert stone, reminding me I ain't alone. I burned the letters, buried the truth, left behind what I couldn't soothe. But ashes drift where they wanna go, and they always find what you don't show. I try to leave it in the ground, but it keeps circling back around. Dust, don't forget your name. It don't care if you've changed. Every mile, every lie still echoes under desert sky. Dust, don't forget your past. Even if you run too fast, you can change your face, your road, your frame, but the dust still calls your name. There's a mark beneath this worn out skin, not from where I've been, but what's within. Every scar's got a voice that keeps talking loud when the whole world sleeps. I've seen towns that erase their sign, still remembered by a crooked line. On a map no one reads no more, but I feel it like a hidden war. There's a bottle sitting next to me, half full of what I used to be, but it don't drown what's underneath, just brings it closer to the teeth. And I can't outrun the sound of what I never laid down. Forget your name. It don't fade, it don't fade, it don't change. Every shadow, every scar still knows exactly who you are. Dust, don't forget your sins, where you lost and where you've been. You can bury it deep in flame, but the dust still calls your name. I remember that night so clear, like it's breathing in my ear. The trigger shook, the silence broke, and something in me never woke. There ain't no judge out on this land, just the weight of your own hand, and the way it trembles still when the dark reminds you what you killed. I carved a path through empty ground, but every mile just loops around, like a circle I can't outride, with a ghost that won't step aside. And maybe this is what remains when you try to outrun your chains. Dust, don't forget your name. It don't wash out in the rain. Every road you try to claim still leads you back the same. Dust, don't forget your truth. Every lie you told in youth, and no matter where you came, the dust still knows your name. Maybe it ain't chasing me, maybe it's just what I see in every shadow, every flame. There's no one left for me to blame. Maybe I ain't meant to run, maybe Maybe this is what I've become. No more hiding, no more lies, just the echo that survives. Dust, don't forget your name, but I don't run the same. I don't fight it like before, don't slam shut that old door. Dust, don't forget my past, but I ain't built to last. I just walk this open frame while the dust calls my name. Out here, you don't lose your past, you just learn to walk with it. And the dust, it walks with you.